Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. It is 22nd of March. It's a Tuesday. And as always, our video is going to consist of three parts. The first is the news and macroeconomic updates that may impact the market today. The second part is going to be the VIX and NASDAQ technical analysis, whereas the third part is going to be technical analysis of the genomic stocks. So let's get started. If you recollect, in my video yesterday, I had published a chart which showed what is the market expectation of the interest rate hikes from the Fed. And yesterday, we got news from the Fed that seemed to indicate that the Fed will be hawkish and it would do whatever is needed to control inflation, keeping in mind that it doesn't want us to get into a recession. One of the remarks from Fed Chairman Powell was that nothing can stop the Fed from a double bump in interest rates, which is not 25 basis points, but 50 basis points in the next meeting in the first week of May. So that kind of upset the apple cart for the market. And after that, there was a dip. So it was a kind of an indecision moment because we went down and then we came up again. So the market is now trying to factor in whether we are going to have that 50 basis point interest rate hike in May. What is it that would prevent the central bank from doing a 50 basis point hike? Or what is it that would motivate the central bank to do a 50 basis point hike? That is a speculation in the minds of most market participants. And then the next question is whether we are going to end up with a 1.9% at the end of the year, or it could be much more. So those are the questions which caused the indecision during the day yesterday. And today in the morning, things were looking positive. So let us see how the market turns out. And we'll do that in a short while. Right now it is 8:59 a.m. The market has not yet opened. So I'm going to continue recording my news articles. So basically that's what explains what happened in the market yesterday. And the other news item that I have has got to do with type 1 diabetes and Vertex Pharmaceuticals. So yesterday I came across a really nice video on CNBC. They released it yesterday, I think. And it talks about type 1 diabetes and the research that is going on behind it. It also talks about the role of Vertex. And one of the chief scientists out there gives a detailed discussion on how they came across the cure and what it means for people with type 1 diabetes. It's worth a view. I put the link in the description below. So please have a view of it. It's a long video. I've just produced a snippet here to give you a flavor of what it is like. So I'm rolling it out next. And after that, we'll do the technical analysis for NASDAQ and VIX.
Pharmaceuticals, a biotech company that works on treatments for many diseases including cystic fibrosis, got into the diabetes space a few years ago. Its stock has been on a steady climb over the past 5 years.
I've had type 1 diabetes for 25 years, and when I heard that Vertex Pharmaceuticals had cured a man of his type 1, I had to find out more. I'm really interested to know this transition from needing insulin to being almost off it. Can you tell me what that was like for you?
Can you imagine winning $1 million lottery? Like while sitting here, somebody says, hey, here's a ticket. Boom, winner. That was me.
Brian Shelton is the first patient in Vertex's clinical trial to be infused with new stem cell-derived beta cells, the cells that make insulin. Shelton's insulin needs are almost completely gone. The amount of insulin he was taking has dropped by 92%.
And I was like, this is what I've been dreaming about. Everything is working fine. My numbers are great.
Other companies around the world, including ViaCyte and CRISPR, as well as Novo Nordisk, one of the biggest insulin manufacturers in the world, are also working on curing the disease. We wanted to find out why finding a cure for diabetes is so hard, and just how close Vertex and other companies are to solving this problem. It's not known why, but the immune system attacks and destroys the cells in the pancreas that make insulin, known as beta cells. These cells regulate glucose levels in the blood, which the body needs for energy. Without insulin, blood sugar will continue to rise.
That autoimmune response has really limited the ability to create a simple regenerative strategy to cure type 1 diabetes.
Type 1 diabetes is different from the more common type 2. Type 1 diabetics have to take insulin for the rest of their lives. Type 2 diabetics still make insulin, although their bodies become resistant to it. It can be managed with diet, exercise, medication, but some do need to take insulin. All types cause high blood sugar, which cause kidney disease, heart disease, blindness, and other complications down the road. Neither have a cure. There have been incredible advancements in diabetes technology, including continuous glucose monitors and smarter insulin pumps. But managing the disease is still a lot of work.
I think you were asking about how many pennies, how many dollars did it cost? I don't have an exact number. A reasonable estimate would be $50 million. That's a lot of money. But compared to the cost of treating diabetes or the amount of money spent on injecting insulin, I'd dare say it's a near trivial amount of money.
After the company focused on reproducing more cells and turning it into an actual treatment. In 2019, it caught the interest of Vertex, who bought the company for $950 million. Then in 2021, Vertex received FDA approval for a clinical trial.
As you saw in the earlier segment, Vertex shares are also going up, and this explains the bullishness on the Vertex shares. So it's worth taking a closer look. And also CRISPR Therapeutics is again on the same track. So we'll take a closer look at the pipeline of CRISPR Therapeutics with regard to type 1 diabetes and check where they are with it. That's probably for a subsequent video. So having said that, let's get started with looking at VIX and NASDAQ. Okay, so the market is open. It's around 9:39 right now, and let's get started looking. Started with U.S. oil first. U.S. oil is down 2.75%, and the candle that has been formed here. This is a one-day candle. Each of this candle is a one-day duration. It's a long-term candle. So we got the MACD, which is bearish, but it is tending towards the signal line. We got the momentum, which is above average, but it's falling a little bit. So those things, the falling momentum is something that gives me a hope that we may have lower oil prices today. However, this indecision candle out here indicates that it could go either way. We have a 9-day exponential moving average, which is supporting the price at this point of time. And because the US oil is down, we should expect the VIX to drop. So this is the live VIX feed that I have added recently. So it shows that we are below earlier support of 24.28, which is now a resistance. And all our exponential moving averages are on the top. So that's a very good sign. And if you see the MACD out here, it is absolutely bearish. That's also good. And the momentum is below average. And this is also good for us. So if I was to look at the delayed VXN, so we still do not have today's candle in here because I think it's delayed by 15 minutes. So we won't be able to do much of analysis on the VXN today. As far as the NASDAQ is concerned, it is also not yet updated because I'm not able to get a live feed. The provider TradingView doesn't have a live feed yet. So once they are available, I could go for it. So in the absence of that, I suggest that we just here we have today's candle. So NASDAQ is up 0.35%. And also we can look at QQQ, which is a proxy for NASDAQ. And that is absolutely live and online. So it's up 0.32%. So we have opened above yesterday's candle. So that's a positive for us. And our candle is green today, which means we have been only going upwards so far. So from the opening price, so that is good. And also we can see that the 9-day exponential moving average has crossed over on top of the 20-day exponential moving average, which is again a consolidation of the strength of our NASDAQ. So that's a good sign. MACD is bullish and momentum is above average. The only thing I'm concerned about is that it's above average but flat. I want it to be raising so that we can have rapid growth. So let us see how the market develops going forward. So looking at NASDAQ, if you can see, we still have this support line out here. We got the 9-day and 20-day exponential moving average giving us support. And today we have added the support of the 50-day exponential moving average, which is this green line. And that sits at 13,862.66. And right now we are at 13,896.53. So that's a great support. And our next resistance is at 14,227.00. MACD is bullish and it's trying to go over this minus 46.18, which formed the middle point for NASDAQ for the near term. And once we cross over that, we'll be in firmly bullish territory. So we still need to form a bullish channel. So there could be a movement sideways and consolidation. And when we come down, we are going to first get a support from the 9-day EMA, and then by the 20-day exponential moving average, and then by 13,329.77, which is this green horizontal line. And then we have to bounce back up again if that happens. As I mentioned, prices don't go up straight. Most of the times they go zigzag as profit taking happens and fear of missing out comes in, it goes up again. So that's about it. Now let's go on and have a look at our biotech shares. Okay, now we are looking at our biotech shares. I've sorted it in the order that we have the biggest gainers on the top. Caribou Biosciences leads today with 4.81% gain. That's around 44 cents. It's being supported by the 9-day exponential moving average and the 20-day exponential moving average. We have a bullish MACD, and the momentum is still just below average. This is what concerns me. It has to be above average and pointing upward for any sustained price increases. So we should be looking forward to get that in place. So having said that, I think given the bullish MACD, I would hope that there is a bit of positive for Caribou Biosciences today. And the overall market sentiment also seems to be that, okay, whatever the Fed has said has been digested and we are going to adjust and go forward. So the moment of lack of clarity from yesterday's FOMC conference has been taken care of. And I think the market has decided that, okay, we can price in that 50 basis point if that happens, and let us go ahead. So in the next few days, I'll try to summarize what the market street expectation is for interest rates, and we'll use that as a reference point to see what's going to happen by the time the Fed comes out for the next statement of interest rate hike in May. So let's look at DNA, which is up 4.71%. That's around 14 cents. And the MACD is bullish, and the momentum is back into civilization zone, but it needs to go a long way before it can be considered to be a reliable bullish sign. Our 9-day exponential moving average is a constraint for us, and we need to break above that as the first step of showing any signs of bullishness. So I would look forward to that. But right now we'll take the positives that we have got, and if the market sentiment remains positive for the day, we could retain the gain of 13 cents we have. Otherwise, we could potentially end up flat. IMTX is up 2.04%, and it's formed the inverted hammer that is red, and the 9-day exponential moving average is still a constraint, followed by the 20-day exponential moving average. We have touched both of them and come back. We have been pushed down firmly. So the bears seem to be in control right now as far as IMTX is concerned, and we are trying to break through this minus 0.59 level on the MACD, which has been the lower point in the lifetime of this company, except for the current period that we are seeing. Once we break above it, we can have some footing for being a bit bullish. So right now in the price action, I can see that we are consolidating sideways. So that is a good sign. Consolidation always leads to upward movement. So I'm hoping that in the next week or so, if positive trend continues, then we'll see IMTX going above minus 0.59, and potentially our momentum will also come closer to the average, and that will be the start of upward movement. So let's look at Bluebird. It's up 2.70%. MACD is bullish. Momentum is below average, but picking up and pointed upwards. That pointed upwards part is that I like, but being below average is what I don't like. 9-day exponential moving average is giving us absolute support right now, and the 20-day exponential moving average is a constraint for us. So I think Bluebird, if the overall sentiments in the market continue to be positive, then Bluebird should end positive today. Editas is up 2.99%. Our next resistance is going to be 18.20. And we have got support from the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving averages, as well as a horizontal support at 15.37. I don't think we need the 15.37 support anymore, because the 9 and 20-day should be adequate to tide us over. Our MACD is bullish, and momentum is above average and pointing upwards in a gentle slope. So that's really what I like, because it can give you consistent upward price. So everything is looking good for Editas today, and I hope we are able to challenge the 18.20 resistance and potentially close above that today. Verve is up 4.06%, and MACD is bearish, and momentum is pointing upward. That is something that gives me a little hope, but because it is below average, I can't depend on that. So I'm going to quickly have a look at the one-day chart for Verve and see what the MACD looks like. The MACD is bullish on a one-day basis, but we are overbought as far as Verve is concerned. Therefore, I think that there will be some side movement, consolidation, and a bit of a drop for the RSI to cool off and come from the overbought back into civilization, and then it can continue its upward journey further. So that's going to be a bit of sideways movement and consolidation. Let us see if there is any major news that is out today. So there is no news article driving this. Let me quickly do a Google search and see if there is any news for Verve Therapeutics. There is no news. So I do not know why we are having this upward swing in Verve today, except for the fact that it's been beaten down and that the overall market sentiment is positive. So since I do not know what is underpinning this upward movement in Verve, I can just conclude that if the sentiments remain, we are going to end up positive at the end of the day for Verve, maybe somewhere around $1.5 or maybe 7% positive growth. Now let's look at Intelia next. Intelia is up 4.20%, and we can see that we are just entered into the bearish channel that we were in before. This green line below was the support for that bearish channel, so we are back into it. So that's a good sign. MACD is bullish. Momentum is below average but pointing upwards. That's a good sign for me. So I think Intelia is going to end up positive today, probably with a gain of around $2.5 by the close of the day. Our 9-day exponential moving average is giving us support, whereas the 20-day exponential moving average is currently being challenged. The 20-day exponential moving average is at 72.60, whereas Intelia is at 72.69 right now. So once it goes firmly above that, our next resistance is going to be 75.92. So I'm thinking if the market conditions and sentiment remain the way they are, we may probably have a growth of around 5% today, increase of 5% in the price for Intelia, and we'll probably be coming very close to challenging the 75.92 resistance that we see here. So having said that, let's look at Beam Therapeutics, which is up 4.46%, and we are coming closer to the upper bounds of the bearish channels that we have had right from 30th of June 2021, and which we broke through momentarily and came back again. So we'll have to look and see if we can cross over this diagonal line. And it's going to be a tough resistance because it's also coincident to the 20-day exponential moving average, which stands at 63.31. So we have the twin resistance of the diagonal red line as well as the 20-day exponential moving average. Right now we are at 62.03, and we have the support of 9-day exponential moving average. Our MACD is tending to move towards the signal line to cross over and become bullish. And our momentum is below average, but it's firmly pointed upwards. So the momentum is increasing. So that gives me a feeling that today Beam may end up positive, and maybe we have a gain of $3.50 or something today, and just about come close to the resistance out here, which is a diagonal line. Next, let's go on to Allogene, which is up 2.42%. And we have got the MACD being bullish and momentum above average and picking up and looking upwards. So this is poised exactly the way I like it. So Allogene is likely to have positive gains today, maybe somewhere around 35 cents by the end of the day. We have a resistance at 9.93%, and our 9-day and 20-day exponential average both are giving support to the pricing, and they are converging so that the 20-day exponential moving average can go below the 9-day exponential moving average, forming a good bullish first step for our chart. So I like that, and let us see where we end the day. It's definitely going to be positive, maybe 35 cents gain for Allogene. ARCG is up 3.47%, and we have still got support from 44.39, which is this horizontal support. We also have support from the 9-day and 20-day exponential moving average, which are now converging. And if the 20-day exponential moving average moves below the 9-day exponential moving average, that will be one more step towards a bullish chart. And I'm looking forward to that happening, because the MACD is bullish and we have above average momentum pointing upwards, and it's pointing upward more sharply than I would like, but we'll take that, and that can propel us towards the 50-day exponential moving average, which is sitting at 48.18, and that's where I think we'll end up the day below that line. We are not going to cross that today. So I predict that ARKG would have a positive momentum of and gain somewhere around $1.75 before the end of the day. That would be in the order of around 4% gain. Vertex is down minus 0.06%, and MACD is bullish but tending towards a signal line, and momentum is above average, but it is pointing downwards. The pointing downward part is what I don't like. So let us look at what is happening on a one-day time scale. On a one-day time scale, you can see that the MACD is bearish and moving away from the signal line, and momentum is below average. This is the reason why it's going down. So Vertex is likely to go down today, despite the fact that we have had positive news coverage about type 1 diabetes, but that's how the market is looking at it today. We have support from the 100-day exponential moving average, and now the 9-day, 20-day, and the 50-day EMA are all becoming a resistance for Vertex. So let us look at news articles if there is any negative news for Vertex today. Unfortunately, there is no negative news, but despite having a positive news, we are not getting any movement. Vertex Pharmaceuticals advances kidney disease treatment candidate into pivotal clinical development. Vertex said Tuesday that it will evaluate VX147 in a clinical trial to assess its impact on top of standard of care kidney function and proteinuria in people with PKD mediated by 2 mutations in the APOL1 gene. So the biotech firm said that if the interim analysis is positive, it may be the basis to seek accelerated approval for VX147 in the US to treat patients with APOL1 mediated kidney disease. The pivotal study will open for enrollment later this month. This is a very positive news, and the market should be reacting to this. So I do not know why we are still going downward. And also you had the positive coverage on CNBC, which many investors watch, which talked about type 1 diabetes and the clinical trial out there and the gains that can be had. So I can only say that probably somebody is downloading a lot of Vertex and shuffling their portfolio. But I would definitely look forward to see positive gains on Vertex before the close of market today. There is no reason for Vertex to be negative. So Teladoc is up 3.22%, and we have a doji candle out here. So there is still indecision out here among the market participants about which way to go with Teladoc. The MACD is bullish, but it's trending towards a signal line, and the momentum is showing that the RSI is overbought, almost overbought. So that could be the reason why there's a bit of consolidation on the side. Let us go to the 1-year time frame and look at what the chart looks like. So we have got a bullish MACD, and we have got above average momentum and pointed upwards in a nice slope. So all is looking good from a long-term chart perspective. The 9-day and 20-day exponential moving average are giving support to the pricing, and we want to see the 20-day exponential moving average going below the 9-day exponential moving average, preferably by the end of the day today. So Teladoc can end the day with a positive. So I'm feeling confident that Teladoc should end positive today, and probably somewhere around $1.75 at the least. So that's what I'll aim for with Teladoc. Our diagonal support is still intact, and our next resistance is going to be the 50-day exponential moving average sitting at 72.87. So let's go on and look at Novartis, which is down minus 0.56%, and we have got our 9-day and 20-day exponential moving average as a support, and right now the 50-day exponential moving average is being tested as a support, and if we fall through that, then we are going to have to rely on the 9-day and 20-day exponential moving average to give us some support. MACD is bullish but moving towards the signal line. Momentum is above average, but it is pointed downwards, which is what is causing this problem. Let us look at a one-day chart and see what's happening here. In the one-day chart, the MACD is moving towards the signal line in a bullish manner, even though it's bearish right now. And the momentum is below average and it's pointed upwards. So the fact that it is below average is concerning me, but the fact that it's pointed upwards shows me that by the end of the day, we still have a chance for Novartis to go positive. So I would assume that Novartis will end either positive or flat by the end of the day. CRISPR Therapeutics is up 1.95% on a daily chart where each of these candles is 1 minute. We can see that we have support from 100-day, 50-day, and 20-day exponential moving average, but a resistance from the 9-day exponential moving average. We also have support at 66.33, and we are right now at 66.99. And if I were to look at the MACD, it is crossing over the bearish side, and it has just begun to move away from the signal line in a bearish manner. The momentum is above average, but flat and slightly pointed upward. This is what I like the momentum to be, but we are very close to overbought, but still a lot of way for the RSI to move before being overbought. So that gives a bullish bias. And if we go to a 1 year time frame where each candle is 1 day, we can see that we are still on a bullish channel with this green line being a support. We have got a support from the 9-day and 20-day exponential moving average. And the good thing that I see here is that the 9-day exponential moving average is trying to move above the 50-day exponential moving average, which is the next step in building a bullish chart. So I'm liking what I see here. And we also have support from 66.36, which is this horizontal green line. So overall, I'm thinking that CRISPR Therapeutics is going to end up the day with a gain of around $2. And we are starting to build the fundamentals for a bullish channel on this chart and becoming more healthy. The MACD is bullish, but it's tending towards a signal line. Momentum is above average and it's pointing upward. That's giving me confidence that this MACD is going to continue to move away from the signal line, and the momentary weakness that we see here right now is going to change. And let us go on to Regeneron, which is down minus 0.77%. We have had a very, very nice bullish run, and there is bound to be some consolidation. As I mentioned earlier, all the exponential moving average are lined up properly for support, and I'm looking forward to Regeneron gaining some positive momentum before the end of the day. The reason that we are having this weakness is because we are overbought on the RSI, and we need to cool down and come back into civilization zone, which is this dull area out here, and then we would be able to resume our bullish movement upward. And as you can see, the bullish movement has been very, very steep. So we need to do a little bit of coming down, bouncing off this 9-day exponential moving average. So there'll be a few days of losses for Regeneron. It's just the market adjusting itself, people taking some profit. And soon when we are coming close to the 9-day exponential moving average, there'll be the FOMO factor, fear of missing out, coming in, and then the price will start moving up. That's my prediction for Regeneron. So today will be a bit negative, but we will bounce back. PSEB is up 2.21%, that is 22 cents. And our resistance is at 10.39, and also 9-day exponential moving average, which is sitting at 10.26 is a resistance. Right now we are at 10.14, which is the market price. MACD is bullish. Momentum is below average and is pointing upwards. So with the given overall market sentiment, if we continue to maintain a positive momentum and go above average, then we can be very confident that PSEB will end up positive today. So right now, the way it looks to me, we could end up either flat or slightly green for PSEB at the end of the day today. Illumina is the next, which is at a gain of 0.18%, and MACD is looking bullish. That's very encouraging. Momentum is above average and slightly, it's flat, but it's slightly pointing upwards, I would say. So I have a little bit of a hope, given the overall market sentiment, that we are just consolidating and we'll stay above the 50-day exponential moving average, which sits at 341.87. And we may probably consolidate the day and end up just about positive or flat for Illumina to continue the consolidation process. Pfizer is down minus 2.74%. We have bounced off the support at 52.49, which along with the 9-day exponential moving average, which is sitting at 52.44, are jointly giving a very strong support to the price, and that's why we have bounced back. So I'm expecting that, given the MACD is bullish and the momentum is above average but falling, that we are likely to end up negative today for Pfizer, but will potentially stay above the support at 52.48. That's what I think is going to happen with Pfizer. So that brings me to the end of my presentation today. This is the market coverage for today. I hope you liked the video. Please don't forget to put a like there so others can have a visibility of this video and come to our channel. And if you're here for a while looking at our videos, obviously you like something in it. Please subscribe and be a member of this community. And if you're new here, just subscribe for everything related to CRISPR and help us grow this community and reach our target of 500 subscribers so that we can get our community tab. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now, and I'll see you tomorrow.